The most powerful instrument in Ableton is without a doubt Sampler. I'm going to show you in this series some of the reasons why that is undeniably true. To get started, let's start by making a cool sound effect like a laser blast or a transition sound or a riser that no one will ever even be able to imagine how you created. And it's going to sound just something like this. The way we create such a sound is just by grabbing a sampler and putting it on a MIDI track. And then I like to grab a few different various sounds. For instance, I like to start with maybe some drums, but I'm going to use one-shots, and I want to choose maybe 3 to 7 or 8 different sounds that are of various frequency ranges. Like, for instance, we can grab a kick drum. I can open up my zones tab, and now I can see where I can have more sounds. I think I want one that's got some boom. There you go. Now I have a couple kicks in there. Let's go ahead and grab a cymbal crash as well. Sure. And then maybe a snare too. Should we do a snare? Let's do it. Just anything that's, you want to have some like variation on the frequency content. Sure. So now if I hit middle C, I can hear all those sounds at the same time, right? So now let's add something with a little more spice to it. I'm going to go to my user library and just maybe into my samples folder, and let's grab some composite sounds or maybe some cool bass sounds. That's kind of fun. And we can just grab all sorts of stuff. Maybe let's do some ambience. Great. All right, so now I've got all those sounds in the sampler at the same time. And as you can see here, I've got about 6 sounds in there. I'm going to want to go down to my global tab and make sure that I have enough voices enabled to play all those sounds at the same time, because each of those layers in the zones tab is going to chew up a voice. So I've got it on 6. I should be good to go. And now I can start having some fun. First of all, it's great to point out that the sampler does not support warping. So anytime you apply a pitch envelope or any sort of stretching or transposing, it's actually slowing down the playhead. So if I take the pitch envelope, for instance, and I crank this up, this becomes the playback speed. This plus a little FM, so maybe some high frequency FM. Now we'll apply our pitch envelope. You want to make a zap? Look, let's make a laser zap. You want to make a riser? You know, it always helps to add a little bit of distortion from over here. We can go to our filter tab and drive it. We also have this nice shaper we can put before or after the filter. And now we've got lots of possibilities here. We can go to our modulation tab and look at this. I can use like maybe an LFO for some pan modulation. Speed that up a little bit. I could use my secondary LFO to modulate the speed of the first LFO. That's always fun. And now here, let's take this and let's use this aux envelope to maybe modulate the frequency of the FM oscillator. That could be fun. That's oscillator pitch. And my favorite thing to do with these kinds of sound effects is to use LFO3, but put it into a random shape, slow it way down, keep it in retrigger mode, and now you're randomizing stuff. Like randomizing global time is really fun. That's going to scale all the envelopes, so every time you hit a new key, it's going to randomize that. You could also, you know, do the FM oscillator amount, maybe for instance, for various amounts of FM. Can you believe this, right? I mean, imagine if I even thought about what was in my sample tab. Like, for instance, it makes sense sometimes to go into some of these samples and enable loop mode. That'll kind of keep the sounds playing for a while. You can also, of course, make tiny loops and approach it like a granular synthesizer. You can crossfade those loops all you want, so now these sounds are just going to play forever. You know, this can be a lot of fun. There's a forward, or forward reverse mode. These are all just fun little elements you can use to monkey around with your sound effects. Add a little stereo spread to these sounds, and like you've got yourself a totally mind-blowing sound effect. I mean, this is just endless fun. Flip the polarity of this too. You know, this kind of a sound with a little saturated OTT kind of situation. This is a great little rack you can get by downloading or by emailing me. And of course, maybe like a delay or chorus or echo effect on here would just be also really amazing. So yeah, to learn more about making sounds like this, all you got to do is hit us up at Slam Academy. We are the world's leading Ableton certified training center, and you can learn from us for $100 a month. It's pretty insane. Hit us up, slamacademy.com.